We all believe this is strictly spiritual warfare coming from the demonic realm. He's worn down mentally and psychologically. He's attempted to kill himself, because this is where the demons want you to get to the point where they've worn you down so much that you end up wanting to take your own life. He ended up in a psych ward when they're saying very strange things that kind of like don't make sense, that you don't understand. See, one of the patients says to him, "You'll probably find the Mandela effect interesting now." He ended up in a psych ward. He ended up in a psych ward. He ended up in a psych ward.
Prayed and asked God, what is this thing? And this is the dream I received after I prayed about it.
I discovered the Mandela effect after watching the video. I found that this Mandela effect was not isolated to just one thing or event. I found changes in historic events, movie titles, and iconic lines within movies changed. The Bible changed, landmasses changed, and time has sped up. I didn't sleep for 3 days straight initially as I lay in a fetal position, and now I have noticed the world is not what I thought it was, or not what I was taught it was from the beginning. What is this Mandela effect? Have I shifted realities? Did the world blow up and we're all in a parallel dimension? Does God have a message in this whole thing? Does this prove or disprove God himself? I searched, alone. These and even more possibilities. My search ended after I decided to do the one thing I should have done at the very first sighting of this grand event. I prayed, and I asked God what was going on. I received my answer at the appointed time and place of God's choosing in a dream I experienced while asleep in Saudi Arabia. I walked calmly to a tall white tower with no windows. The tower was most likely 7 to 10 stories tall. There was a single opening in the front, no door, just an opening where a door could be. I walked in and observed stairs lining the walls all the way to the top, like you would see in a lighthouse. The inside was brightly lit, but not from an observable light source. The walls and stairs just gave their own light. I could only hear my footsteps as I walked to the top of the tower. I didn't feel fear or really any emotion other than curiosity of what was at the very top of this tall white tower. When I reached the top, there was a white floored platform, and at the top of the stairs on the flat banister rail sat a large brown Bible with a gold cross. The cross was the size of the Bible itself. I had never seen this Bible before and I didn't recognize it. I picked it up to read it, and as I opened the book, I noticed that the pages were all blank. White, with no ink at all. I flipped through the pages and they were all blank. As I searched the Bible, I heard a loud growl from behind. I knew that if I didn't leave, that what was behind me would destroy me. I said to myself, uh-oh, and then I ran down the stairs, feeling this angry beast right on my heels the whole time. If I slowed down, I was gonna get hit. I could hear the breathing of this beast behind me, and feel the wind from the swings of what might have been a claw of some sort. I didn't slow down to look at what was behind me. I raced down the stairs and out the front opening and into an awakened state in my bed. From that point forward, I was no longer questioning what this Mandela effect is or will be.
Welcome to the delusional effect. That's the new name for the Mandela effect. Yo, yo, yo! Here we go! This is a Pinguinati production from the Sagittarius arm Earth to the Orion planet. Welcome to your new Earth. Welcome to your new normal.
Posted about spiritual warfare. I was watching Adam's testimony, which is his channel is Jeremiah Cohen on YouTube. In his testimony, and I don't believe I've watched this specific testimony before, he's talking about the Mandela effect. So let me give a little bit of a backstory on this. So was, I believe, in 2017 or 18. It was pretty soon after he went through that experience. And he had a mask on because he didn't want people to recognize him because he was so traumatized by that experience. There was just so much fear, which is understandable after an experience like that going on with him. So he did have a mask on. He didn't say one thing I know for a fact about the Mandela effect in that video, because I had known about the Mandela effect when I watched it a couple years ago, and he didn't say anything about it. I thought, now you can't find it. He took it down. So as far as I know, I had watched it, I would have, it would have stuck out at me when he was talking about the Mandela effect. So it was interesting because I wanted to go back and to find his testimony so I could try to relate to you guys from his perspective as well, or just get more information from Adam's perspective. And as I was watching his testimony, I came across something interesting I wanted to share with you guys. So when he was in a psych ward, because that's where he ended up after weeks and weeks and weeks, he ended up in a psych ward. Now, I've explained in my other videos, so has he, so has other people on the channels I've left links for. We all believe this is strictly spiritual warfare coming from the demonic realm. So, from that perspective, I'm going to continue talking. So, at this point, Adam, he realizes that there is some kind of evil influence going on, for sure, for weeks or months, at this point. He's worn down mentally and psychologically. He's attempted to kill himself, because this is where the demons want you to get to the point where they've worn you down so much that you end up wanting to take your own life. And people at this point, in some instances, when they're saying very strange things that kind of don't make sense, that you don't understand, it started on Facebook with him, I think, and it just keeps happening with people saying strange things. He realizes that these were, demons speaking through people, saying all these strange, bizarre things. And then I think Adam questions him and says, what are you talking about? So, he's in the psych ward. He has patients saying the same kinds of bizarre, strange things to him. He knows that there's this evil, malicious intent behind it. He doesn't know at the time it's really demons speaking through people, and this is the demonic realm attacking him. But there are full-on witches in there. They're drawing all kinds of occult symbols, talking about Freemasons, people talking about Freemasons, Aleister Crowley, Satanism. I mean, you know, all these different people are talking about similar things that have to do with the occult and Satanism in this place. And he's just kind of like, what the heck is going on? So we know there's the demonic origins to it. One of the patients, this is what I'm trying to get to. One of the patients says to him, "You'll probably find the Mandela effect interesting now." So after I heard him say that, I was like, wow. And then I started to think, and this is kind of my interpretation of what this demon that is speaking through this inpatient was saying to Adam at the time. Because we know the Mandela effect was going on back then, full on in 2017, 18, I believe it was 2018, excuse me, when all this happened to him. And I started to think that what that might mean. And I believe this demon is saying, you know, you're going to find the Mandela effect interesting now. Because based on, now that you know that we're real, we exist, the supernatural realm is real, the demonic realm is real, we're behind it all, we're manipulating you, we're controlling you, we're running the show. You know, we know as believers in Christ, God is allowing it for whatever reasons. But the demons are, you know, being allowed to do all this, and they know it. And so they're basically telling Adam, you're going to find the Mandela effect interesting now. To me, that is a correlation between the Mandela effect and the demonic realm. And we know, for those of us that have researched the Mandela effect, a lot of us believe, including myself, because we don't really have any alternative beliefs, that the Mandela effect originated with CERN. And we know who's behind CERN, what's behind CERN. I don't feel like getting into talking about CERN. For those of you that are listening and have no idea what I'm talking about, do your own research on CERN. Okay? In the truther community. So, and we know that that's all demonic. All the origins of it are straight from the pits of hell, literally. So there's the correlation, guys, between what we've been talking about, which is the Mandela effect, and the Bible changes specifically are directly from the supernatural realm, because they're supernatural changes, and they come from the enemy. They come from the demonic realm, especially when we see in which fashion the changes go. So for those of you that have no clue what I'm talking about, I have a video about the supernatural Bible changes and how those changes in the Bibles that are happening are specifically twisted in such a way to sound demonic, to sound anti-Jesus or anti-Christ. So for example, Jesus is now called a holy thing instead of a holy child. Jesus has breasts and wears a bra in Revelation. Okay, so twisting their transgender agenda. Two men are in one bed, glorifying homosexuality. Two women grind. Instead of grinding grain, it's just grind. Two women are grinding, glorifying homosexuality. I could go on and on. So we know that there's that satanic agenda behind the Bible changes. So, and as far as I'm concerned, the secular world as well, because we have the rainbow trees, the rainbow this, the rainbow that, the rainbow canyons, everything's rainbow, okay? and they're all about the transgender agenda, and homosexual agenda is all about the rainbow and unicorns, and now unicorns are in the Bible. So it's the satanic Luciferian agenda. We know that. So all I'm trying to say in this video to make this point is that this demon speaking through this patient to Adam in a gang stalking, targeting individual testimony, which is really spiritual warfare, all leads back to the Mandela effect, which this demon's talking about, which has its origins in the demonic. It's right there. So I thought this was interesting. I like to know what you guys have to say. If you can watch that video yourself, see if there's anything else you get out of it, or that's specifically what that demon was saying, because I'm not saying that is the only interpretation, according to Elizabeth. I'm open for different viewpoints, but definitely that has something to do with the demonic realm from what he said. So anyway, thanks for listening.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for your support.